Hey everyone, welcome to Real Knowledge Club podcast. Today we are living in the world, we are connected, one of the most connected people in the world with so much of social media, AI, and all the buzz. But at the same time, we are also becoming so much unhealthy every single day. We are going to so many hospitals, we are taking so many medicines, and even though there is so much of awareness, we are not living to the full potential. The obesity is like rising, the stress, the fatigue, the natural like the basically like diabetic, sugar, BP, everything is like increasing. So one big question is, how can we truly become healthy and like live longer? That's why in this special episode today I'm inviting one of the Bangalore's leading naturopathy doctors, who is none other than Dr. Achyuthan Eswar, who has over 12 plus years of experience. He has learned from some of the best people, best institution, and he's an expert in the field, and who is currently practicing in Bangalore, JP Nagar. He is known for like natural lifestyle, gut health, gut a second brain, one of the most important thing, detoxification, a holistic natural lifestyle. And he's also the founder of Sampurna Ara, a platform dedicated for complete wellness and transformation through like natural healing. And many of you would be thinking what food to eat, what food not to eat. Eating the right food, that's one of the most important, and he has created such a big impact. I got the opportunity to meet the doctor like 2 years back at the Satvik Fest in Bengaluru, and it's a truly honor. His integrity, transparency, and simplicity inspires us. Without any further delay, let's all welcome Dr. Achyuthan Eswar to the Real Knowledge Club podcast. Welcome, Doctor.
Thank you so much, Akshay. It's an honor to be here. Thank you for everything you do to spread awareness about longevity.
Yeah, thank you, Doctor, for taking your super valuable time. Doctor, I'm so much inspired by your journey from yoga, naturopathy. I would love to know about your backstory, right? How did you come up with that idea of like Sampurna Ara, and how did it actually begin?
Absolutely. I have had a dream of healing people without medicines since my
Hmm.
childhood. And when I became a yoga naturopathy doctor, I realized exactly how to achieve that dream. So, for the first, I think, 5, 6 years of my career, I had a clinic. I was treating people to reverse diabetes, reverse high blood pressure, lose weight, reduce inflammation, all through diet. And at the end of it, I realized that everyone would come back to me and say, Doctor, this is great. Our sugar levels have improved, BP has improved, everything is better. But is there any way by which somebody can make this food and send it to our house? It'll be so much easier that way. And that's why we started Sampurna Ahara, which is the first whole food plant-based social enterprise in India. We deliver more than almost 100 different types of sweets, snacks, savories, which are fully clean and plant-based, and we prepare it fresh and deliver it everywhere in India. My inspiration for this entire journey comes from my family, Akshay. My mother, my grandmother, my grandfather, they all reversed very severe health issues from migraine to sinusitis to diabetes, high blood pressure, sleep apnea, osteoarthritis. They reversed all of this through diet in just less than like 2 weeks
Wow.
when each of them shifted to a whole food plant-based diet. And I said, if my family can do it, anyone can do it, and everyone should do it. That was my inspiration.
That's a fantastic, doctor. Doctor, many people nowadays actually think they have to take like the medicine or like diabetics. Anybody who gets into like sugar or something, or like any heart after angiogram or angioplasty, like they keep on eating like medicine. What is the advice? What you want to tell them, how they can go about, and if they want to quit the medicines and all, right, with the natural healing, how they can go about, doctor?
Absolutely. See, medicines are very important. They save lives, they keep you alive, and they keep you healthy. If you are currently taking medications, you should not be stopping them without your doctor's guidance. At the same time, for lifestyle diseases, medicines are not a long-term solution for reversal, only for management. So,
Hmm.
if you want to reverse diabetes or reverse high blood pressure, reverse lifestyle diseases, it's called lifestyle diseases for a reason because it comes from lifestyle. So when you change your lifestyle, you can reverse those diseases as well. We've seen about thousands of people who are suffering from diabetes, high blood pressure, and other lifestyle diseases have significant benefits the minute they change their diet. It's not a secret. Everyone knows if you eat healthy, you'll get healthy. It's as simple as that. The problem is actually putting it into action. We give ourselves so many excuses saying that, okay, we have a promotion at work coming up, there's a family issue that I'm resolving, I don't have time, I don't have bandwidth, I don't have the mind space. But I think when you really take control of your health and when you tell yourself, okay, now let me start making changes and let me see what happens to my health, then you get so much more time, so much more bandwidth, and you're actually able to achieve whatever you want to achieve in life. At the end of the day, should not be all about just managing a disease for 30 years. It should be about really going out there and achieving what you want to achieve. Your body should be able to support that. And if you support your body, the body does support you back.
Yeah, absolutely. Our body has that pran kind of shakti which can actually solve any kind of problem, right? We don't need to be so much dependent on medicine. If we focus and if we can do it, like we can cure it like naturally. And what exactly is like natural healing? And I believe like yogic wisdom is like 5,000 years back wisdom, and nowadays everyone, even for a small problem, they are like eating the medicines like allopathy. What is exactly like the difference of this naturopathy and like allopathy medicine, doc?
Sure. See, naturopathy treats the root cause of the disease. When you
Mm,
look at diabetes, for example, an allopathic medication would help to reduce your sugar levels either by stimulating more insulin production, making the cells a little more sensitive to the insulin, getting the glucose into the cells. But it's very short lived. It's just for 24 hours. And then the next day, you're back to being diabetic again. The reason it doesn't work in the long run for reversing diabetes is because it doesn't treat the root cause. As long as you're eating junk, eating a medicine is not going to help. It's always going to cause a problem again tomorrow. But if you clean up your diet, if you start eating healthier, then automatically your body has an innate ability to heal itself. It can reverse these disease processes to a significant extent. I have seen diabetics go from taking 20, 30, so in one case, even 100 units of insulin, dropped down to zero, stopped taking insulin because their sugar levels became normal in a span of 3 to 6 months. Okay. At the same time, for some people, it's not possible to completely reverse diabetes. They do, if like my own family, for example, my grandmother went from 24 units of insulin to 10 units of insulin, and she had to continue taking it. She takes it even today. It's not fully reversed. But is 10 units better than taking 24 units? Absolutely. Is sugar level of 100 better than sugar level of 300? Definitely. That is the difference. Every step along the way, you get benefits. Regardless of whether you're able to get it into complete remission or not, eating a healthy diet is only going to give you good, positive effects on the body as long as you do it under somebody's guidance who can guide you the right way.
absolutely, love that. And doctor, it is also told like food is the medicine, right? Like even Hippocrates tells like eat food like the medicine and medicine be the food, something like that. There is a quote. And what is the most cost effective healthy food choices what people can do, right? Even if like the Gen Z, the current generation, the cost of many people tell like healthy food is very costly, like all this even when I brought some of my cousins to the vegan market, they were seeing all the chips and everything. They're telling outside chips is 5 rupees, like kurkure lays. Here the chips is 200 rupees, 100 rupees, right? How can one normal person eat now with the low cost? How they can get quality food?
Absolutely. See, I think there are two different things. One is looking at packaged food. Now, packaged food, like any other industry, becomes cheaper the more number of people who adopt it. For
Mm.
example, if you look at, say, a processed snack like a junk packet of chips, okay, um, you have millions, lakhs, crores of people who are eating it. And
Correct.
therefore, it's possible to get it down to that cost. But
Yeah.
when you see a packet of healthy chips, which maybe it's not fried in oil, maybe it's baked in an oven, first of all, that's a little more expensive, takes more resources to do it.
Yeah.
But if we had enough people buying it, then yes, the cost would come down and you will get price parity. It will happen. It's going to take its time, but it will happen. In the meantime, if you are making a choice between two packets of chips of made by different companies in different ways, I don't know if it's realistically the best comparison. But if you want low cost, healthy food, then that is absolutely possible. Like, for example, meat, for example, is expensive. If you
Yes.
replace that with tofu, tempeh, dals, which are, are of the three, the lowest
Way
cost,
cheaper. Mm.
yeah, and you can absolutely drop your cost of food while improving your health at the same time. If you have, for example, if you start cooking more at home, if you start buying ingredients and not packaged foods, those are all strategies by which you can drop the cost of the food that you eat. Buying a packet of almond milk is not required, it's not necessary. If you really want to have almond milk, you can make it at home. It's simply a matter of taking six almonds with a glass of water, grinding it in a mixie, and almond milk is ready. It's as simple as that. If you don't have a good mixie, soak the almonds in advance, and it's done. Okay. And six almonds are going to cost less than buying a packet of dairy milk outside. So if
Absolutely.
you want something even cheaper, then a liter of soya milk costs about less than 20 rupees or something to make. That's
Mm.
all. It is, I think, half the cost or less of dairy milk. So it's not about looking at market prices of different products and saying whether something is expensive or cheap. You can have a fried chips that is super expensive. You can have fried chips that's super cheap as well. But it's about looking at what is it that you want to eat and what ingredients can you source to make those foods at home. What are low cost healthy options you can get in the market itself? For example, dry roasted peanuts, roasted chana. And there are many snack brands that are giving it at lower and lower and lower prices today as they grow, which is great. Dry fruits, nuts, dates, for example, are not that expensive to get. Papaya, watermelon, banana, peanuts, your sunflower seeds, coconut, they are not expensive foods, and you can make so many different foods just with these ingredients at home.
Absolutely.
Ultimately, of course, there's also the question of how much you end up spending when you fall sick. Like diabetes, for example, on average, and this was, I think, around 10 years back,
Mm.
costed 30,000 rupees a year to manage diabetes, including all the medicines, doctors, visits, complication risk, and all of that. So if that same thing is put into the cost of food, and you don't even need to put that much, if you spend, I think, on average, the cost of eating a non-vegetarian diet compared to a plant-based diet works out cheaper, lower cost, especially if you're cooking at home. So yeah, that's the trade-off. It can be cheaper, it can be more expensive depending on how you plan your diet.
Absolutely. Love that. And doctor, when it comes down to like longevity, right? Currently, I was just reading the stats. Current Indian men lives 72 years and women live 76 years. Women tend to like live 4 years more. Now, what is the food and diet and how one has to go about if they have to live for 100 to like 120 years? What are the core principles one has to follow?
Sure. See, 100 to 120 years is not something that we still have data on. Okay.
Mm.
But there is data that shows how your healthy lifestyle habits can be associated with a longer lifespan. For example, the Adventist 2 study shows that five healthy lifestyle habits are associated with a 10-year longer lifespan on average. For example, not for example, the five healthy habits are exercising every day, okay, eating a plant-based diet, eating nuts and seeds, never smoking, and staying at your healthy weight.
Yeah.
Okay. So if we follow these five things, your exercising, ideal weight, not smoking, plant-based diet, and eating more nuts, then those five healthy habits are associated with a 10-year longer lifespan. So it's all about the basics when you're looking at how do you get started on this journey? It's about the basic fundamentals that we have to practice consistently on most days of the week.
Mm. Correct. We have to be consistent daily movement, exercise, eating the right food, and they have to avoid all the bad habits like smoking or like drinking. That's one of the most dangerous things for the longevity. Love that. And doctor, when it comes down to like even for the gut, as you told, all right, like plant-based diet is very important. But if we see almost 90% of the world, they are eating like non-vegetarian food. Why they have to eat like the vegetarian food and what are its advantages? Because even I try to tell to so many people, including my parents, cousins, friends, they are all like, hey, since childhood we are eating, how will I get protein? How will I get B12? Right nowadays even doctors are telling for even vegetarian Brahmin also, hey, you have to continue to eat like non-veg, right? What is your thoughts on it, doctor?
Yeah, that's a great question. And I think whether you're non-vegetarian or vegetarian, today there may still be animal foods included in your diet. And definitely even more likely that processed foods are included in your diet. So when we start making that shift towards plant-based, towards whole food plant-based especially, then we get a lot of benefits. Like the Epic Oxford study followed, I think, 65,000 people and found that vegetarians have a lower risk of diabetes than non-vegetarians and vegans have an even lower risk. Today in India, diabetes is a huge problem. Every household, 1 in 3 adults or something has diabetes. And
India is
how
the
many people?
diabetes capital. Hmm.
Exactly. And when you look at the average protein consumption in India, the average Indian adult, according to I think the last National Nutrition Survey, eats about 68 grams of protein, which is actually enough, sufficient. Although it's not a great, like most of it comes from white rice and maida and things like that. So it's not the best healthy foods to get it from. But protein deficiency is nowhere close to being as big a problem as something like diabetes is. So we have the wrong focus. We should not be looking at protein deficiency. We should be looking at healthy food sources of protein, which will reverse and prevent diabetes. That can give us much more health benefits, both on a national level and on an individual level. So diabetes, high blood pressure, heart disease, strokes, and even lifestyle related cancers like breast cancer, prostate cancer, colon cancer, stomach cancer, esophageal cancer, oral cancer, all of these risks start reducing when we start eating more wholesome plant based foods. That's why we should make that shift because you heard like prevention is better than cure,
Yeah,
but sometimes prevention is not an option. For 60 of people who get their first heart attack, even if they go to the hospital, they rush to the hospital, they don't survive. Can you
hmm.
tell them prevention is better than cure? No, prevention is only option. There is no cure. You have to work on disease prevention. That's the only way by which, like, that's the first step that you can take to start living a longer, healthier life.
Absolutely, absolutely. Love that. And I believe eating vegetarian, even from a spirituality point of view, also it makes them more conscious and like kind and not like very arrogant or like anger, right? Even our anger levels to like everything also will be lesser. Love that. And doctor, when it comes down to like the gut issues, many people have this gut leaky issues and everything. And it's also told gut is the second brain. It has like so much of bacteria. I think our body is made up of billions, trillions of cells. How one can actually go about if they have to make sure that they protect and make sure that the gut is healthy for like long term. What to eat, what all things not to eat.
Absolutely. So we have two types of bacteria in the gut for a very simple understanding, good bacteria and bad bacteria. Now it's up to us to decide who's going to be the hero of our story. The
Mm.
good bacteria are going to protect us, they're going to help us. Bad bacteria are the villains. They are going to pull us down, they're going to increase our disease risk. Okay. Every time you eat fiber, you are supporting the hero, you're supporting the good bacteria. But when you reduce your fiber and start eating more protein, especially animal protein, that's what the bad bacteria eat. So you're actually feeding them. So when you shift to more wholesome plant-based foods and start eating more fiber-rich foods, more foods rich in resistant starch, you're feeding the good bacteria and supporting them, and they can actually protect you back. They can feed you back. They make compounds like short-chain fatty acids, which reduce your obesity risk, which reduce the inflammation in the body and keep you healthy and safer. So fiber is the key to a good, healthy gut microbiome. We have the same or more number of cells of bacteria in the body compared to human cells. Every time we pass motion, stools, 50% of the dry weight of that stools is a bacterial colony. The other 50% is the food that we eat. Imagine that, right? That much of probiotic bacteria are sitting in our gut. We just have to feed them fiber.
Hmm. Yeah. Love that. We have to make sure that we eat more fiber compared to all this junk food, this burger, this pizza. This all can create even constipation, and this can create a problem as well, right? Love that. And doctor, nowadays this visceral fat in the stomach and the obesity, it is becoming so much common in almost every man and woman in India. How they can reduce obesity? Because I think that is the number one problem these days.
Very true. See, reversing obesity comes down to two things.
Mm,
One is called calorie density. If the food that you eat is very dense in calories, you are going to end up eating more calories than what you burn. But if it's very dilute, then you can lose weight without going on a diet restriction. For example, if you eat one samosa or one plate of gulab jamun, one cup of gulab jamun, which
mm,
has two pieces, that each one of them has about 300 calories, 250 to 300. But if you want to get the same number of calories from a fruit like watermelon, you need to eat 1 kg of watermelon or half kg of mangoes just to get that 250 calories. Are you going to be hungry after a kg of watermelon? No.
mm,
What about after one samosa? Definitely you want to eat one more samosa.
true.
That's the problem, right? So we need to choose foods that are more calorie dilute,
Mm,
especially fruits and vegetables. We simply do not eat enough fruits and vegetables on average in India. We eat mostly, like I call it, a Himalaya mountain of white rice with everything else on the side. We need to change that. The rice has to go to the side, vegetables have to come to the center stage, vegetables and dals. Then we can reduce the calorie density of our food, and we can have stomach full. Like one of the things that my patients start doing, one of the first things on their program is they start eating fruits and vegetables at the start of their meals. That automatically reduces their calorie intake without making them feel like unsatisfied. You will stay full and you feel light and you have more energy and you lose weight, which are all benefits across the board. The other thing is our relationship with food. We have gotten so used to using food as a crutch. Everything from, you exam got over, let's go out for ice cream. You want to go on a date, go out to a restaurant. Any festival is so closely associated with food. I'm not saying it's bad, it's great to, celebrate. At the same time, what if we started associating celebrations with things other than food as well? Like, for example, exam over, let's go out for a trek, you know. Let's go on a date to Lal Bagh is a nice big park in Bangalore. Let's go on a walk. Let's sit in the middle of nature. Let's go play a game of pickleball together. Let's practice yoga together. Let's do arts and science and go to a museum together. If we are able to repair our relationship with food and stop relying on food as a crutch every time we feel down, then we can prevent those like binge eating cravings. We can prevent food from becoming our source of comfort rather than being a source of sustenance for us. So both of these really help to reduce body weight and help to bring you back to that ideal body weight that is needed for a longer, healthier life.
absolutely. I believe that's a big bulp on moment. We have to reduce the rice more in the plate, and we have to eat more like sabji, like the vegetables, palya, all those things. And doctor, when it comes down to rice also, there are like so much of confusion in the market. What rice that like you will recommend to eat? Because many Indians eat this white rice, right?
Yeah.
And which has like more glycemic index or something.
That's true. White rice is polished rice.
Mm,
People say one day I eat white rice, one day I eat brown rice, like as though they are two varieties. They are not. Sona Masuri, which is what most people eat, is a
mm,
brown rice variety. The brown bran is removed, refined, and then you get the white rice from it. The nutrition is gone in the bran. The bran has calcium. The bran has vitamins, minerals, phytonutrients. But when you remove the bran, you're losing out on that protection. Nature has designed foods perfectly.
mm,
When you eat a food from nature, it comes pre-packaged with a lot of nutrition. For example, you eat, say, a peanut. It has 50% fat, 40 to 50%. But the other half of the peanut is fiber and phytonutrients that protect you from that fat. So eating a peanut yeah, or even peanut butter is not linked to increasing cholesterol, but consuming peanut oil is. Okay, when we process foods, when we make rice from brown rice into white rice, we increase our disease risk just by eating that rice. And switching to brown rice, red rice is not that difficult. It's just a matter of, say, 1 week or 2 weeks to make that change.
Mm.
You can try brown rice, you can try Rajamudi rice here in Karnataka, you can try red rice, you can try so many local varieties are there like brown rice, black rice, purple rice, red rice varieties that you may find in your states wherever you live. So many varieties of millets, bajra, jowar, little millet, foxtail millet, proso millet, and so many more. Oats, barley, rye, amaranthus seeds, rajgira. We have so many options of whole grains that are grown in India, local, native, seasonal varieties, that there is really no more excuse for still continuing to consume white rice when we know that it's unhealthy. It increases our disease risk. It's much better to switch to a whole grain, which is a wholesome plant-based food that's associated with better health compared to white rice.
Absolutely, absolutely. Love that. Like adopting to either to like this brown rice or like a different rice, that's very important. And doctor, how can one actually take that as a habit? Because I've seen many people after they get sugar or like BP, then they go and adopt, and then in the 60s, 70s, they also tell this rice is not tasty. Some days they eat that, some days they'll come back to the old white rice itself. And wherever any hotel, restaurant in India, everywhere it is served like white only. Why can't this FSCI, the Food Corporation, all these things, why can't they come and implement and tell like white rice is not good? Why don't you everyone eat like the brown rice, and why you are eating the palm oil? Why don't you take like olive oil? All these things.
They're doing it.
Okay.
Yeah, like look at the huge push for millets from the government in the last few years.
Yeah.
And millet production has improved, millet procurement has improved, millet consumption has improved, which are all great. And I think we need to keep pushing, every one of us, the government, the industry, every individual, every institution, all of us across the board needs to make these choices consciously. And if you're listening to this podcast, whichever stage, whichever level you're at, if you have control at your home level in the groceries that you purchase, make that choice. If you're part of an institution, ask them, can we start serving brown rice? Can you start serving millets? If you work in the government, see if you can start serving it there. See if you can work at the policy level. I think every one of us needs to take control at whatever level we can so that together we can make that change as a society.
Absolutely, love that. And doctor, is eating sugar good or bad? Because a lot of people from US to like in India nowadays, they're telling sugar is the number one killer, and it is the from dental cavities to like lot of diseases we get because of sugar. What's your thoughts on it?
Yeah. See, sugar is not the number one killer. If you look at the risk factors for death in India, the number one, in fact, the top five are mostly foods that we don't eat enough of, like
Mm.
not eating enough whole grains, not eating enough fruits, not eating enough nuts and seeds, enough pulses and legumes, and eating too much salt. And then eating too much sugar is also there. So, does that mean we should eat sugar? Please don't. It's not a healthy food by any means. We should be eating naturally sweet foods and not table sugar, not the refined form. Like, for example, I use dates and dry fruits to sweeten my desserts and my beverages. A date sugar, for example, is just powdered dates, date powder,
Okay.
which is a great way to sweeten your beverages while still consuming a fiber rich source of sugars. Now, the thing that I think we need to focus on the most is how do we start eating more of the healthy foods? How do we eat more fruits? How do we eat more whole grains? Those are the things that are going to give us maximum health benefits, as well as moving from an animal based diet to a plant based diet today.
Absolutely, love that. And doctor, as you told, like eating fruits are very important, like fruits and vegetables. Nowadays, everywhere we go, they are adding like pesticides and chemicals. And how safe it is like today, right? Even if we go to like a big mall or like this thing, they're putting the freezer and they're storing it in the freezed things, right? How do we come to know whatever the fruit or vegetable which we pick in the market has chemical less or like fertilizer less thing?
That's a great question. I think when the label says organic, we all think that how can I trust this, because it's costlier. It is about 30 to 50% more expensive than other regular fruits and vegetables. Now, I think it's absolutely worth it to make that switch if you can afford it, because it supports small and marginal farmers. It supports farmers who are doing something good for the planet, for the earth. It's more sustainable for them and for you, and it's safer and healthier. Now, given having said all of this, if you're not able to afford it, if you can buy only the regular fruits and vegetables that have been grown with pesticides or fertilizers, you can still wash it off. You can wash off more than 95% of the pesticide residue from the surface using salt solution, 10%. That means 1 glass of salt and 9 glasses of water. Mix that together, wash your fruits and veggies in that, and then rinse them under running water to get rid of the salt. Okay, so that's a way by which you can do it. But otherwise, pretty much the only way by which you can be absolutely sure if you want to go to that length is to talk to the farmers yourself, connect with organic farmers, talk to them, go visit their farms and get from genuine brands. Like we get most of our groceries from Farm Fresh Bangalore. They are connected with more than 350 farmers near Bangalore. And we know that everything they give is genuine because they know the farmers personally. So organizations like Farm Fresh Bangalore are a great way to source. But if not, then 10% salt solution is the solution.
Absolutely, love that, doctor. And doctor, for all the vegetarians, how they can actually meet their protein intake, right, effectively and efficiently? Because I think in India, highest deficiency is like protein deficiency, and second is the vitamin B12. How they can go about and really become healthy in this both?
Yeah, absolutely. I think this is a question that everyone has on their minds.
Yeah.
Getting enough protein as a vegetarian is not as complicated as people think it is. First of all, how much protein do you need? The ICMR says you need 0.8 to 1 gram of protein per kg of healthy body weight. If you calculate that, most people need anywhere from 50 to 75 grams of protein every day. Now, getting 50 to 75 grams of protein in a day is not difficult. In fact, most people are already getting that much. If you just put the food that you're eating today and include everything, not just the rice and dal, but everything that you eat, put it in a nutrition calculator and see how much protein you're actually getting today and see how much you actually need. Don't use. Also, the other thing people do is, especially if you're overweight, you tend to use your current body weight. Let's say I'm 100 kgs. I should not be using 100 kgs as my starting point. I should be using my optimal weight. Maybe that's around 75 kgs. I use 75 kgs and I get 75 grams, 70 to 75 grams as my optimal protein intake. How do I get that? It's probably already happening. But if it's not happening, then look at how much of dals you're eating. Most people need to be eating about 3 servings of dals in a day. And most people don't eat that much dals. They eat much less than that. Fixing that is a big part of the solution. Then there are foods that are particularly high protein, which are still healthy for you, like your tofu, tempeh, and soy chunks. Include more of those in your diet, and that should basically solve the problem for you.
So,
Very few people are not able to meet their protein requirements. Even after all of this, for them, consulting a nutritionist or a dietitian may be a good option. But for most people, these steps should be a solution that's practical.
right. They can also eat paneer as well, right, doctor?
Yeah. So paneer is not a plant-based food. It
Okay.
comes from cow's milk, and and the more paneer you eat, the higher your intake of animal protein, higher your intake of saturated fat, and people don't realize how much cholesterol is in paneer. All
Mm,
of these components increase your disease risk. So
mm.
because of that, I don't recommend paneer. I recommend tofu over paneer. You'll get a similar amount of protein without the cholesterol and saturated fat that come with paneer.
Absolutely love that. And doctor, for the people, some people have that milk lactose intolerance as well, right? Is drinking milk really good, or like if somebody the milk does not work, how do they actually come to know whether their body is accepting the milk, the lactose tolerance or not?
See, lactose tolerance is not a normal thing in nature.
Mm,
Lactose intolerance is normal. When you look at nature, what is milk? Milk is baby food. Once you grow up, become an adult of any animal, any species, any mammal, um, you stop relying on mother's milk and start eating normal food, which is meant for your species out in the world. And at that point, your body stops making the enzymes required to digest lactose because it's not essential anymore. And
Mm.
that's why we should not be worrying at all about lactose tolerance or intolerance. Regardless of whether we have tolerance or intolerance, it's better to avoid or reduce lactose intake and
Yeah.
start eating more plant-based foods just because of the health outcomes associated with it.
Yeah.
Okay. And if you do have lactose intolerance, like my patients who come to me with lactose intolerance and who already reduced their dairy product intake, I tell them you're probably better off than others because now you have a better diet. You're eating more wholesome plant-based foods than the average Indian. That's probably going to give you a longer lifespan and a longer health span.
Yep, yep, absolutely. Love that. Avoiding it is like way better than facing all the consequence. And doctor, in India, vitamin B12 also has become very big deficiency, right? How one can actually overcome what they have to do?
So vitamin B12 is not made by plants or by animals. It's made by bacteria that live in soil. If you're living in a tribal area or a village, you might get enough B12. But if you're living in a city, you will definitely not get enough
Mm.
from nature. Regardless of whether you're vegan, vegetarian, or non-vegetarian, you could still have a vitamin B12 deficiency if you're living in a city in India today. So it's much better to eat B12 from fortified foods or supplements. And yeah, regardless of your diet, if you're living in a city, vitamin D and vitamin B12, I would recommend taking special care, getting it from supplements in both cases. And in the case of vitamin D, you could also get it from sunlight if you get enough sunlight, which is about 15 to 30 minutes of direct sun exposure on face and arms, depending on the color of your skin. And this should be between 10 a.m. and 3 p.m. But if the sun is too bright or too hot, please avoid sunburns. Take it practically, be wise about it. And yeah, supplement options are available for both of these.
Absolutely, love that. And doctor, nowadays many people the bones are becoming more weaker, right? How to naturally increase the bone strength? And because after like 70s or 80s, the stability, mobility, endurance keep on gradually reducing, right? How can we increase that? Because any old person after 70s or 80s, if they fall once, 2 to 3 years, they're bedridden and they die, right? How to avoid it?
Very true. In fact, that is sadly what happened to my own grandmother. She had fell down, she had a fracture of the hip, and she passed away soon afterwards. It's
Oh,
very, very important to do three things, especially if you're above age 60 or going close to 60, to maintain your bone density. Number one is strength training, resistance training. Your body builds bones only when it needs to. So you need to tell the body that, hey, start building bones. The way to do that is through resistance training or strength training practices. And please do it under the guidance of a coach, especially at the beginning, so that you get used to it without getting injuries. Number two is vitamin D. Vitamin D deficiency can reduce your calcium absorption. You don't want that. You want to absorb all the calcium from food as much as possible. Number three is consuming calcium rich foods like whole grains, dals, pulses, nuts, and seeds, ragi, sesame. Things like these have a lot of calcium in them, and we need to be consuming them on a regular basis. Even oranges have quite a bit.
absolutely love that. And doctor, imagine if you become the health minister, right? As a naturopathy doctor, what is that one message you want to share to everyone in India?
Oh gosh, this is, I've never thought of this, but such an interesting question. Um, I think I think the one message I would share to everyone, which I think will be true for every single Indian, is we need to start prioritizing our health.
Mm.
Okay, we put everything else first, everything, career, family, children, parents, partner. We prioritize everybody and always keep our health last. Saying, okay, I'll take care of it later, let a problem come, and then I'll see. Right now, I can't do it. We need to solve that. We need to fix that attitude and protect our health first because you can have 100 problems. Okay. But if you have a health problem, then you have only one problem. So don't get that problem. Prevent it before it comes by prioritizing yourself.
Absolutely. Prevention is like better than cure. And even I heard this quote from the Naveen Jain. He used to tell, when we are healthy, we think of like thousand different things. I want to go there. I want to go for the international travel. I want to buy car, everything. If you're not healthy, we just have one dream: how we can become healthier. Love that. And doctor, for the oral health, what do you recommend? Many people neglect it, and eventually there's gums become weak, their teeth tend to fall, and everything. How they have to go about? What is the paste or like something? What do you recommend?
Sure. I think oral hygiene is very important, not just for teeth health, but also for heart health. Like if we have persistent plaque and gingivitis and bad, oral health, it increases our risk of heart disease because it increases inflammation in the body. The exposure to that bacteria is increased. So it's very important to have a regular oral hygiene. It's so simple of just brushing 2 times a day. And basically, that's all there is to it. Um, and if you eat a healthy diet, then your total load also reduces. Like, for example, eating chocolates can increase the plaque, increase risk of cavities. But eating raisins, even though they are sweet, because they have fiber, they don't increase the risk of cavities. They are much safer to consume. So, simultaneously changing diet to a diet that is lower in added sugars and more in naturally present sugars from wholesome plant-based foods, and having a regular dental hygiene by brushing 2 times a day. I think that's a very practical approach to keeping your oral health in check.
Absolutely. They can also use the neem leaf, neem stem or something as well, right? To clean their teeth. Love that. And doctor, now I'll be asking you like rapid round questions. Are you ready for it?
Yeah, ready. I do have only 8 minutes though, so I
Yes.
will give rapid answers as well.
Yeah. One food to avoid immediately.
One food to avoid immediately, I think, is fried food. No questions asked.
One habit everybody must start today.
Start your meals with salads. Super easy, accessible, and has amazing benefits.
Awesome. Coffee, yes or no?
I don't take it. There are much better, healthier drinks than coffee, even herbal teas, green teas, spice teas, chukku kashayam, for example. But if you do have a coffee habit, you are not able to move out of it, then make sure that the milk and sugar get out. Either black coffee or plant-based coffees. There's a fantastic brand called Plant Yum that makes these premixes. You can try them out.
Best time to have our breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Most important thing is have an early dinner before sunset, before 7 p.m. Finish your dinner. Apart from that, like shift your timings to suit your convenience.
Is intimate fasting good or bad?
You mean intermittent fasting?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Intermittent fasting is good if you do it the right way. It has to be early. If you do late intermittent fasting, like you start in the afternoon and finish eating at night, you don't get the benefits. Has to be early. You have to finish eating an early dinner and finish eating dinner early. Only then you can get good benefits.
Like example, 7 p.m. if we have the dinner, next day around 11 o'clock or 12 o'clock, they can have the lunch, right?
Sure, sure. Yeah. I eat my lunch at 11 and I my like brunch at 11 and finish dinner around 6:30.
That's wonderful. I think many yogis in the olden days, when current and all was not there, they used to follow this routine, right? Love
True.
that. And what is the biggest myths about health you want to break?
I think the biggest myth is that you can't make that much of a difference when you start eating healthier. I wish people realize the importance of healthy eating and how much of a difference it can literally add years to your life and life to your years, both. I wish that would change.
Absolutely. And doctor, what will be the three books you'll recommend everyone to read if they want to become healthier and like live longer?
Oh, very nice. I think number one book would be How Not to Die by Dr. Michael Greger. It's the book that changed my life
Wow.
and introduced me to whole food plant-based nutrition. Second one, if you have children and you want to start giving them a healthy diet, which is really important, then the book I would recommend is called Nourish by Brenda Davis and Dr. Reshma Shah, I think, if I'm not mistaken. The third book is if you want to learn. If you are serious about taking up nutrition as a career or professionally, then one of the best books is called Becoming Vegan, Comprehensive Edition by Brenda Davis and Besanto Melina. This is a book that covers all the basic fundamentals of whole food plant-based nutrition. I would highly recommend.
Absolutely, that's amazing. And doctor, who are you super grateful for your mentors? Like, who are the greatest mentors you had in your life?
Yeah, I was introduced to vegan lifestyles, plant-based nutrition, and naturopathic medicine at my college, STM College. My professors, my lecturers who came, and one of my seniors, his name is Dr. Shakti Vijay, and he was the one who introduced me to this documentary called Earthlings and really showed me that it's possible to make that change. And I think that without the support of my parents, my clients, my community, our team at Sampurnahara, none of this impact would even be possible. Like, what can you do as a one person against the world? Nothing is possible at all. It has to be the community coming together. So I'm really grateful for every single person who has supported us in any way, small or big, to make this change happen.
Absolutely love that. And what is your vision behind Sampurnara? Is it only available in Bangalore or like throughout India, anywhere they can actually buy the food product and all these things?
Yeah, so Sampurna Ahara's wholesome snacks are available everywhere in India. You can order and get it delivered to your doorstep from the website, sampurnaahara.com. And yeah, anywhere in India at all. If you live outside India, get in touch with us. We'll be happy to send you a parcel.
Absolutely love that. Thank you so much, Doctor, for sharing your incredible wisdom with all of us. Before we wind off, what is that one message you want to share with everyone at the Real Knowledge Club community?
I love the work that you guys do with your focus on longevity, living longer, healthier lives. And I think longevity goes hand in hand. Lifespan goes hand in hand with health span. So, yeah, I wish you guys the best. And I hope that you are able to take your health and your lives into your hands, make that shift happen, start eating more wholesome plant based foods, everything from yoga to meditation to exercise to getting the environment to work in your favor, and creating a system that supports yourselves. Wish you all the best. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. And doctor, for all the people who have watched till now, if they have to book a consultation or they want to meet you like personally in Bangalore, how they can go about?
You can go to our website, nutritionscience.in. The link is there on the Sampurnahara page as well. Otherwise, Google my name, Achyuthan Eswar, and you'll find the link easily.
Awesome. Guys, do check out if you have any natural, like if you want to have a natural lifestyle, like any gut problem, whatever you want to reverse your diabetics or like sugar or everything, you can consult doctor. And if you are at anywhere in Bangalore or like JP Nagar, you can actually go. The doctor has an offline clinic as well, like you can check it out. And thank you so much. Dr. Achyuthan Eswar, for sharing your incredible wisdom with all of us and everybody who have watched till now. Do let us know what's your three biggest takeaway. Do like the podcast on like YouTube. Do share it with your friend, mother, sister, and let's make a world a better place to live. Make India the one of the most healthiest and like longevity focused country. And yeah, have a great day, everyone. Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you so much for having me. Have a great day.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye
See you.
bye.